Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a hot minute. Just driving to work. Been back in Australia now for, what is it? Just coming on 7 months now. And it's the 1st of July, 2025. It's been an interesting couple of months. Well, not couple of months, six or so months. Trying to slot back in after a lengthy period of time away overseas, in particular in Thailand. And I'm back. Got a job pretty much in February, so I only had like maybe a month to try and do my resume up again, just add a couple of bits to it, and then jump on Seek and do what you got to do to sort of get your foot in the door. And Perth's sort of like that. Perth's like it's a small city, country town sort of vibe, which isn't a bad thing. I think that's probably one of the positives of Perth. It beats Sydney and Melbourne. I mean, back in 2016, even 17, people were like, oh, I'd never live in Perth compared to Melbourne and Sydney. I'd rather live over there. And I was like, well, yeah, at the time, fair enough. But as time went on and we had COVID lockdowns later in 2020 and beyond, it was more and more obvious that Perth was the place to be. And now we've got 3 million people here, as opposed to back in 2016, it was like 2.1 or 2.2, 2.3. So things are really, really crazy at the moment over here. I mean, I'm just driving to work now and all the roads are pretty much caked up. And that's saying something, coming from living in Bangkok for about a year and a bit, where I was used to traffic every single day. Not that I was commuting to work in Bangkok, luckily enough, but it was a challenge to get from A to B at times. And then coming back here to Perth, the first thing I noticed was the traffic increase, the amount of cars that's on the road, and the lack of infrastructure we have here. And without going into too much further detail, it's sort of like having a cafe, having 4 people run a barista machine. It's just too crowded. You're better off just hiring 2 people to work on the barista machine. You'll make probably more coffees that way, and won't have to be out of pocket to pay 2 more employees. That's essentially what we've got here in Perth, is just an overcrowded usage of infrastructure. But I digress. So yeah, as I said, I got a job. It's okay. It's okay. It's something that we all have to go through in life. Unless you've been born with a silver spoon in your mouth, you got to sort of put in the yards. You got to put in the hard yards, and I'm okay with that. Do I want to be in this position forever? Absolutely not. I think a lot of people, if they could win Lotto tomorrow, would be wanting to buy a ticket and being in it to win it, sort of thing. But then there comes a point where buying Lotto tickets is just as bad as gambling, and you might as well go to the casino, Crown Perth, to do that, which I do not have any interest in doing. But essentially, what is the end goal? Look, YouTube is pretty cool. Has time run out to make money on YouTube? Absolutely not. You'd be surprised what people watch these days. I mean, I'm currently watching this guy, right, who I watched back in probably year 9, year 10, when I was at school. It was around that time, 2014 perhaps, 2013, I don't know. And his name's Adam the Woo, and he's got a YouTube channel. And he literally has 2. He's got a Daily Woo, which is like a vlogging channel, but then his actual other channel, his main channel before the Daily Woo channel, was a channel based on him going around and looking at film locations over in America, in particular LA and Florida and other parts of America. And that was his main channel. That's how he built his let's just say, sort of backing, his fan base, I suppose. But now he's turned his attention to the Daily Woo, which is like basically a vlogging channel. And I was just thinking, I was like, well, I drive to work every morning. I spend like an hour in here, essentially, just driving to work, okay? That's how bad the traffic here in Perth is. And I was like, well, you know what? Why don't I just record myself talking absolute nonsense to you guys? And perhaps, you guys might find it somewhat entertaining or fruitful, okay? So I was like, well, you know what? Stuff it. I'm going to be somewhat productive in this time. Yes, I could put a podcast on. Yes, I could probably, I don't know, tune out and just sit in my car in silence and just begrudge driving to work. Okay, we all know that sort of feeling. But I was like, you know what? I'm actually going to do something different. And I'm going to drive to work and film myself talking to you guys, and perhaps you guys will enjoy it somewhat, or not. Totally up to you guys. Not forcing you to watch this. However, if you've come this far, thank you very much. And look, consider subscribing, because if we can successfully get this channel to, let's say, 1,000 subscribers, okay, and I can monetize it to a degree, then I won't be driving to work with you guys, as tedious as that may sound. I could actually branch out and do some more, I guess, day-to-day, just, it might be mundane, but other vlogging things where I'm out and about. And if you guys want to see anything in particular around Perth, chuck it in the comments. Nothing is off limits. Nothing is off limits. At the end of the day, guys, I want this channel to be based on just an open dialogue. And I also want it to be based on something where it's viewer-led. I want to be basically led by you guys in a way where, you know, I can basically hear your feedback, and I can go, you know what, that's a brilliant idea, because I sometimes I don't have all the ideas, guys. You know, I like to think I'm a bit of a creative person, but then sometimes I go, geez, mate, you're so bloody like bland. Get some color into your life. And I go, you know what? I probably do need a bit of that, you know, because life at the moment is grey because it is winter, and I am definitely feeling hard. Well, it's harder to get up in the morning. Let's be honest. It's pitch black. I have my, you know, coffee in the morning, and I look out the window and I go, today's gonna be another good day. I live in a very lucky country in Australia that is, pardon me, experiencing hardships. Every person experiences hardships in their life in one form or another at various stages of their life. And, you know, for example, last week this time last week I was unwell. I was bedridden. I did not feel okay whatsoever. I felt like I had been just uppercut by Mike Tyson himself, and I literally had no energy to get up and go to work. So I had 2 days off, and I wasn't pulling a sickie. I was genuinely not feeling well, and it's that time of year where shit like this happens. You know, it does. You know, it's bound to happen. However, I had some nice, I guess, pumpkin soup, and I had just a lot of rest, a lot of sleep, and I felt a lot better after 2 days. I had my doctor's note. I went on to Hot Doc, or whatever that other one was, Health Engine, and did a telehealth, which was very, 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 very easy. Cost me $49, but at the end of the day, it was, I guess, worth it, and didn't cost me my time to get out of bed, which I didn't want to do. And now a week has passed. It is Tuesday, the 1st of July 2025, and I'm feeling fantastic. You know, better than what I was. I'm still recovering a little bit, but I'm better than what I was. And I just wanted to sort of branch out and sort of talk to you guys in particular about what are you guys doing at the moment with the cost of living. Are you guys working more than one job? I'm lucky enough that I have the one job that I work that pays enough to a degree. Obviously more would be better, but pays enough, and I'm very grateful for the job, very grateful at all, as I am. But what are you guys doing out there? Like, how are you getting by? Is life at the moment a struggle? And what I mean by that is, are you working more than one job? Do you own a house? Would you like to own a house? What is the end goal? I mean, my end goal at the moment would be one day to have my own house. But we'll see. I mean, it is dire out there. It is dire. And I probably didn't... I mean, last year, I wanted to go traveling. There was no ifs or buts. I had to get out of the country. I was getting just weighed down by this small bubble of Perth. And I needed to see more and experience more. And I don't regret it at all. I do not regret it at all. I think I learned a lot. I learned more about the ways of life than I probably would have if I had stayed here in Perth and just sort of stayed in my lane, in my little bubble, in my little cocoon. And, you know, that's what I guess drives me now to put in the hard yards. And what I mean by that is just getting up every day, putting in the time. You don't have to love work. You just have to motivate yourself somewhat to get through it. It's all a mental challenge, but the way I see it is, if I can financially free myself in some aspect and create something that will allow me to adventure more, then I believe that YouTube will provide that. And maybe I'm delusional. Maybe I am somewhat short-sighted with my vision. However, sometimes I believe that it's in inaction that leads to nothing. Nothing will become of that. But you know what? I'm still pushing forward, and look, part of that is to hopefully one day have a house, and I can create my videos not just here in Perth, because there's a whole big world out there. But yeah, I mean, this is why, I mean, a lot of people now that I find, I don't know who you guys are watching or following or subscribing to on YouTube, but it appears that in 2025, a lot of people are actually putting out there some sort of videos that they find interesting in their specific field, whether it be the field that they're their job field or their passion and hobby field. And I think it's refreshing to see. But it'd be amazing, and I think surprising, right, that a lot of people that start YouTube these days are actually doing it as a bit of a side hustle. And you got to respect that, guys. You got to respect that. I think that, to me, is pretty cool. I think that is pretty cool. And that's why I want to be one of those people. But in saying that, consistency is key. And that is something that, unfortunately, I haven't... I sometimes start something and I don't really... You know, it takes me a bit more to keep going with it. For various reasons. We're all guilty of that, whether it be, you know, signing up to a gym and not going to the gym and all that sort of stuff. You know, I realized that for me to continue to put this up, and well, I'm going to do it every day. So I was thinking, you know what better time? What better time than just to put it up when I'm driving? You know, how can I go wrong with that? You know, what an advantageous time than just to put it up when I'm driving to work. It is 8:15. I have to be at work in 15 minutes, and the traffic is still slow. I'm traveling at 50 k's an hour through the Perth traffic. Oh boy, it's and this is why I want to do it now, because it's just a long, tedious journey just to get there to my desk, to sit down, to open my computer, to check my emails, and to be somewhat productive without being fired. I mean, that would be, you know, that would be a good start to the month. If I can just sit down and be productive, maybe arrange some appointments. And perhaps with my appointments, I can take you with me. I can take you with me on the journey in my car, in this vessel, to show you some sort of daily doings that I do. The one thing I don't really feel comfortable with is the whole vlogging aspect. Like, I don't think a lot of people appreciate someone walking around with a iPhone Pro Max, big freaking chunky brick thing, filming stuff. And so that's why I've been looking at an iPhone 13 mini. Now the mini is a very compact iPhone, sort of like the iPhone SE, but obviously a little bit nicer finishing. And there was one for about $300 on Facebook Marketplace that I'm looking at getting as a filming device that potentially would be better off than a Osmo Pocket 3, which is $895 from JB Hi-Fi, something that I'm just bewildered by and surprised by, and I cannot believe how much they are. And for the creative pack, which you get an extra charger and a couple of things like a lapel mic, it's $12.95, $1,295, and to me that is absolutely ridiculous. I'm not a YouTube star. I don't claim to be Alfred Hitchcock. I'm just a guy filming on his way to work. The most mundane activity one can experience in his or her life. Yeah, it's... What do you, like, you know what? I hope that one day I look back on this video and I go, you know what? Your content, Bailey, has come a long way, because if this is as good as it gets, you guys are in for a freaking rough experience. Seriously, like if I get 3 views on this video, I will be freaking proud of myself. Like, I'll be like, shit, 3 people. Okay, the algorithm might have just brought them here, let's say. Well, generally speaking, they do. The algorithm does bring people to videos. However, I would be just happy to have 3 views on this sort of video. This is like me driving to work. This is nothing special. Like, any Joe Blow out there can just do this. It's like, if you guys enjoy my ramblings, like, I'm rambling. I'm not even at work yet. It's 8:18. I'm still driving to work. Fuck. Pardon me, but you know what I mean? It's just the traffic. I mean, there's one, like, I can complain about traffic, right? But traffic's everywhere. And if you live in a major city, yes, you got to expect traffic. Geographically speaking, I'm not right next to my work. So it's not like I'm 10 minutes down the road. So I guess there's that. But you can see, guys, why I want to just film me driving to work. I can share my frustrations with you. You guys can have a laugh and laugh at me whilst I laugh at myself. Because my life at the moment, this is my life. 5 times a week, driving to work. And yeah, as I said, if this is as good as it gets, this channel of me just driving to work talking absolute nonsense like I have for the last 18 or so minutes, then yeah, it's going to be an interesting time to be a subscriber of this channel. But I digress. I shall be making these videos every single day. I am challenging myself to make these videos every single day. And when I say every single day, hey, I might even make them on the weekend, right? Because consistency is key. But I want you to come along for the ride, hit the subscribe button, like this video if you so choose. And together we can make some good memories. And you can see how every morning I am driving to work frustrated. All right, until next time, guys. Have a great day. Have a win. Do something special. And be grateful. Peace out.